Hello. Today we're going to be taking a walk or an urban hike on the trail called the Equestrian Trail of Copper Canyon. It starts in the Castlewood neighborhood of Highland Village, and the street number is 3416 Fairfield Lane. If you want to put that on your Google Maps, that'll take you right to the trailhead. There's a parking lot right adjacent to it that you can park, and so we're going to be doing the trail. The mileage will start from the parking lot of the Castlewood pool, and then we'll be diving into the woods. This is one of my favorite trails. It was initially made as a horse trail, but hikers use it a lot. I certainly do. Bicycles, motorcycles, anything like that's not permitted on this trail, so occasionally there's a few horses, but seldom do you see it. And we've come to the trailhead here. I'll go ahead and show you that. This is the trailhead where it dives into the woods. At 0.45 miles, the trail comes next to Chin Chapel Road, which is an entry point both for hikers and for horses. At 0.64 miles, there's a small creek that you have to pass. Fortunately, someone has placed rocks so you can cross on rocks. And then we dive back into the woods again. At this section, we've reached the 1 mile point, and as you can see, it's just trail in the woods. At about 1.43 miles, we come across the 2499 bridge that we'll be passing under. From here, you can see the lake a little bit, and we have lake views all the way through the hike. At 1.65 miles, you come across the guard shack for the entrance to Knoll recreational area. It's a campground, and then you dive back into the woods. So at mile 2, you'll come across an entryway into the Knoll Park. If you enter and walk about a half block to your left, you'll find restroom facilities where you can use the restroom and refill your water at both mile 2 and mile 9.5 if you choose to do the entire approximate 11.5 mile loop of the trail. At mile 2.15, we start to skirt the lake, so it's really pretty. This is the lake view at 2.46 miles. At a mile 2.8, you'll come across a parking lot adjacent to Highway 2499. If you didn't want to walk the whole approximate 11.5 miles of the Knoll Trail, you could just park here. If you walked here to the Old Alton Bridge and returned, it would be approximately a 6-mile hike for you. As you can see, there's a tunnel built under 2499 that you can take. In rainy times, it can be flooded as it is today, so we just hike over it. And here we are at around the 3-mile mark in the woods. At 3.65 miles, you have a park bench that you can sit at, and it overlooks a little pond, so that's kind of nice. Hey, let's get hiking again. And here we are at the 4-mile mark, still in the woods, going between a couple cedars. And here we are at the 5-mile mark, still in the woods. At 5.3 miles, we hit the parking lot where horse owners can offload their horses from the trailers. Note that on the Pilot Knoll Trail, there's no bikes or motor vehicles allowed, no fires or pets on leash. And then over here is the parking lot I was talking about. And this is mostly for the horse owners where they can offload. Over at the Old Alton Bridge, there's another parking lot just half a mile away. At mile 5.7, you come across the Old Alton Bridge. The Old Alton Bridge was built in 1884 and is registered as a national landmark with the Department of the Interior. It's an iron bridge with plank flooring. It's been here over 130 years. Oftentimes, the local high school seniors will come here for their senior picture. It's a regional landmark for the community. At the end of the bridge, just beyond the bridge, there are some park benches that you can take a rest and have a drink of water. This will represent the halfway point of your journey on the Pilot Knoll Trail. So here we are at the benches at the Old Alton Bridge. If you did a round trip, it would be 11.45 miles from the parking lot at the community pool at Castlewood in Highland Village to the benches just beyond the Old Alton Bridge in Copper Canyon. And so I hope you've enjoyed this tour.